The US dollar's dominance is facing a formidable challenge from the BRICS nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These emerging economic powerhouses are increasingly asserting their independence from the traditional Western-led financial system. Trump's aggressive economic policies, including threats of 100% tariffs on BRICS nations challenging the dollar, have only fueled their resolve to establish alternative financial mechanisms. The BRICS nations are actively seeking to reduce their reliance on the US dollar for trade and investment. This shift away from the dollar is driven by a desire for greater economic sovereignty and a belief that the current global financial system is skewed in favor of the West. The BRICS nations are home to a significant portion of the world's population and represent a substantial and growing share of global GDP. Their collective economic clout gives them leverage in challenging the existing order and promoting a more multipolar world, where power is more evenly distributed among nations. In a move reminiscent of a modern-day gold rush, BRICS nations have been quietly amassing vast quantities of gold reserves. Over the past 2 years, these countries have collectively accumulated over 600 tons of gold, signaling a strategic effort to diversify their reserves and hedge against potential risks associated with the US dollar. Gold has long been considered a safe haven asset, particularly during times of economic uncertainty and geopolitical turmoil. Its value tends to rise when confidence in fiat currencies like the US dollar wanes. By bolstering their gold holdings, BRICS nations are essentially creating a financial buffer that could shield their economies from shocks in the global financial system, particularly those stemming from potential fluctuations in the value of the US dollar. This strategic gold accumulation reflects a growing concern among BRICS nations about the long-term stability of the US dollar, given factors such as rising US debt levels and inflationary pressures. In a bold move to challenge the US dollar's dominance in global finance, BRICS nations are developing a decentralized blockchain-based payment system known as BRICS Pay. This ambitious initiative aims to create a parallel financial network that operates independently of the SWIFT system, which is currently the backbone of international dollar transactions. BRICS Pay leverages the power of blockchain technology to facilitate faster, cheaper, and more transparent cross-border payments between member nations. By bypassing SWIFT, which is heavily influenced by the United States, BRICS nations aim to reduce their reliance on the dollar for international trade and financial settlements. The development of BRICS Pay is a significant step towards creating a multipolar financial system. It provides BRICS nations with greater autonomy in managing their financial transactions and reduces their vulnerability to potential disruptions or manipulations within the existing dollar-centric system. The success of BRICS Pay could have far-reaching implications for the future of global finance, potentially diminishing the role of the US dollar as the primary currency for international trade and investment. Brazil, Latin America's largest economy, is taking ambitious strides to reduce its reliance on the US dollar and promote the use of its own currency, the Brazilian real. The country has implemented 2 key initiatives: PIX, a domestic instant payment system, and SML, a cross-border payment system. PIX, launched in 2020, has rapidly gained popularity within Brazil, facilitating quick and convenient digital transactions between individuals and businesses. Its success has prompted the Brazilian government to explore expanding PIX for international use, potentially allowing for cross-border payments in Brazilian reals. SML, short for Sistema de Pagamentos em Moeda Local, local currency payment system, enables direct transactions between Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay, bypassing the need for US dollar conversions. This system aims to promote regional trade and reduce reliance on the dollar within South America. Brazil's proactive approach to developing alternative payment systems reflects a growing desire among emerging economies to assert greater financial independence and reduce their exposure to fluctuations in the US dollar. Section 5. China's economic ascent. Outpacing the US in a shifting landscape. China, the world's second-largest economy, is experiencing robust economic growth and is steadily solidifying its position as a global leader in innovation and technology. While the US grapples with political and economic uncertainties, China's strategic investments in key sectors are yielding impressive results. China's stock market has outperformed its US counterpart, with the MSCI China Index surging by 28% in recent times, while the tech-heavy Nasdaq plunged by over 10%. This disparity highlights the growing confidence of investors in China's long-term economic prospects. Furthermore, China has become a magnet for foreign direct investment, attracting a surge of 8.4% in inflows. Global corporations are increasingly drawn to China's vast market, skilled workforce, and supportive government policies that foster innovation. China's rapid advancements in artificial intelligence and electric vehicles are particularly noteworthy. Chinese tech giant DeepSeek AI is at the forefront of AI development, while BYD Auto, a Chinese EV manufacturer, has surpassed Tesla in sales within China, signaling a shift in the global EV landscape. China's economic ascent is reshaping the global balance of power, challenging the traditional dominance of the United States, and signaling a transition towards a more multipolar world order. Section 6. Expanding the alliance. New BRICS members signal a multipolar world. In a significant expansion of its membership, BRICS welcomed 6 new members into its fold: Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Iran, Indonesia, Egypt, and Argentina. This strategic move underscores the growing global appeal of the BRICS alliance and its vision for a more multipolar world order. The inclusion of these influential nations from the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Latin America significantly expands the geographic reach and economic weight of the BRICS bloc. It also reflects a shared desire among these countries to reduce their reliance on the US dollar and the Western-led financial system. The expansion of BRICS is a testament to the growing dissatisfaction with the existing global order, which many perceive as favoring the interests of developed nations at the expense of developing countries. The BRICS alliance offers a platform for emerging economies to have a greater voice in shaping global affairs and promoting a more equitable and balanced world. The addition of these new members is likely to further bolster BRICS's efforts to create alternative financial mechanisms, reduce reliance on the US dollar, and promote greater cooperation among developing nations in areas such as trade, investment, and technology. Section 7. Market turmoil. Trump's policies spark uncertainty and volatility. The return of Donald Trump to the U.S. presidency has injected a significant degree of uncertainty and volatility into global financial markets. His unpredictable policy pronouncements and protectionist trade measures have rattled investors and raised concerns about the future trajectory of the U.S. economy. Trump's threat to impose 100% tariffs on any BRICS nation challenging the U.S. dollar's dominance sent shockwaves through financial markets. Major stock indices, including the Nasdaq, S&P 500, and Dow Jones Industrial Average, experienced sharp declines in response to the heightened trade tensions and the potential for a global trade war. The Atlanta Fed, a regional Federal Reserve bank, issued a grim economic forecast, projecting a contraction of 1.8% in U.S. GDP growth for the first quarter of 2025. This bleak outlook reflects the growing concerns among economists about the negative impact of Trump's protectionist policies on business confidence, investment, and consumer spending. Moreover, Trump's claim of a $1.4 trillion investment from the UAE in the United States has been met with skepticism and a lack of verifiable evidence. This unverified claim, coupled with his impulsive policy decisions, such as the proposed abolition of the Department of Education and the potential appointment of Elon Musk to a cabinet position, have further fueled market anxieties. The uncertainty surrounding Trump's economic agenda is contributing to a climate of fear and uncertainty in financial markets, potentially jeopardizing global economic stability and hindering growth prospects. Section 8. A shift in global defense. Europe seeks alternatives to U.S. weapons. In a significant shift in global defense dynamics, European nations are increasingly seeking alternatives to their reliance on U.S. weapon systems. This strategic reassessment is driven by growing concerns over U.S. reliability as a security partner, as well as a desire for greater European autonomy in defense matters. The European Union has unveiled an ambitious €800 billion defense program dubbed Readiness 2030, which prioritizes the development and acquisition of weapon systems from within Europe, reducing dependence on U.S. military hardware. One of the driving factors behind this shift is the concern over potential kill switches embedded in U.S. weapon systems. These kill switches, if activated, could potentially disable European weapon systems, rendering them useless in a crisis. This vulnerability has raised serious doubts about the reliability of U.S. weapon systems and the potential for the U.S. to exert undue influence over European defense capabilities. Rasmus Jarlov, a prominent member of the Danish Defense Committee, has issued a stark warning against overdependence on U.S. weapon systems, highlighting the risks associated with relying on a single supplier for critical defense equipment. In response to these concerns, countries like Canada, Portugal, and France have either reconsidered or scaled back their orders for U.S.-made F-35 fighter jets, seeking alternative options from European manufacturers. Canada has taken a significant step towards diversifying its defense partnerships by collaborating with Australia on a $6 billion radar system, demonstrating a growing preference for non-U.S. defense solutions. Section 9. Trade wars and beef. China and Russia forge closer economic ties. The ongoing trade war between the United States and China, coupled with geopolitical tensions, has reshaped global trade patterns, leading to closer economic ties between China and Russia, particularly in the agricultural sector. In a move widely seen as retaliation against U.S. tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, China rejected a shipment of 150,000 tons of U.S. beef, citing safety concerns. This rejection, valued at approximately $520 million, underscores the escalating trade tensions between the two economic superpowers. Meanwhile, Russia has seized the opportunity to expand its agricultural exports to China, capitalizing on the strained trade relations between China and the United States. Russia's beef exports to China surged by an impressive 32% in the first quarter of 2025, demonstrating the growing agricultural trade between the two countries. This surge in Russian beef exports is facilitated by several factors, including pre-existing trade agreements, a newly established rail corridor connecting Russia and China, and the increasing use of non-US dollar transactions for bilateral trade settlements. Russia has announced a substantial $1.1 billion support package aimed at doubling its beef export capacity by 2027, signaling its intent to further capitalize on the growing Chinese market and solidify its position as a major agricultural supplier. As a result of these shifting trade dynamics, the U.S. share of China's lucrative beef market has dwindled from 12.6% to below 6%, highlighting the economic consequences of the ongoing trade war and the growing alignment between China and Russia in the global agricultural trade arena.